Good evening, everyone. I want to start by saying this: you are here for a reason. You may not know it yet, but tonight could be the moment everything changes, not just for you, but for your family, for generations to come. Let me ask you something. Do you know the weight of the name you carry? The name that was passed down to you, your family's name. What does it mean? What legacy does it hold? Maybe it's a name tied to struggle. Maybe it's a name tied to pain, to lack, to brokenness. But let me tell you this right now, it does not have to stay that way. Your family's legacy is more than just a name. It is a story, a collection of moments, decisions, and experiences that have been passed down from one generation to the next. Every family carries with it a unique history, woven with threads of triumphs and trials, joys and sorrows, victories and struggles. Whether you're aware of it or not, that legacy has shaped you in ways you may not fully understand. It's in the way you think, the choices you make, and the dreams you dare to pursue or avoid. For some, that legacy is a source of pride. It's rooted in stories of resilience, hard work, and progress. But for others, it may feel like a weight tied to memories of hardship, scarcity, or unfulfilled potential. You might carry the echoes of your parents' sacrifices, your grandparents' struggles, and even the silence of their dreams deferred. You see, a family's legacy isn't just about what was spoken, it's also about what wasn't said, the unfulfilled hopes, the lessons learned through pain, the dreams that never had the chance to bloom. But here's the truth: no matter what that legacy looks like, it is now in your hands. It is not set in stone. You have the power to honor what came before while also redefining what comes next. That requires understanding where you come from, not to dwell on it, but to learn from it. You have to take an honest look at the patterns that have shaped your family. Maybe it's a pattern of financial struggle, a lack of education, or a cycle of broken relationships. Maybe it's a mindset that says, we've always done things this way. Whatever it is, acknowledging it is the first step toward transforming it. Some people avoid confronting their family's legacy because it feels too heavy, too painful. But ignoring it doesn't make it disappear. It only ensures that those same patterns will continue to repeat themselves. Recognizing the weight of your family's legacy doesn't mean carrying it alone. It means understanding it so that you can decide what to carry forward and what to leave behind. It means taking responsibility for the future, even when the past feels overwhelming. You have to understand that your family's legacy is more than its struggles. It also holds strengths, values, traditions, and lessons that have endured through time. Maybe it's the grit of your grandparents who worked tirelessly to provide for their children. Maybe it's the love that your parents poured into you despite their own challenges. Those strengths are part of your foundation. They are proof that even in the toughest times, your family found a way to keep moving forward. To recognize the weight of your family's legacy is to see it for what it truly is: an opportunity. It's a chance to honor the sacrifices of those who came before you while creating a better path for those who will come after you. It's a reminder that you stand on the shoulders of giants, and from where you stand, you have the power to reach even higher. Change is not something that happens by accident. It doesn't wait for the perfect moment, nor does it come from wishing things were different. Change starts with a decision, a conscious, deliberate choice to break away from what has been and step into what could be. And that decision, no matter how small it may seem, starts with you. There is a point in every person's life where they realize that the path they're on doesn't have to define them. You may come from a family that has faced generations of struggle, or perhaps there are patterns of behavior, mindsets, or circumstances that have been passed down. But here's the truth: none of that determines your future unless you allow it to. It takes courage to look at the situation around you and say, this stops here. This stops with me. Deciding that change starts with you isn't about blaming those who came before you. It's not about pointing fingers at your parents or grandparents for the choices they made. In many cases, they did the best they could with what they had. It's about realizing that every generation faces its own challenges and has the opportunity to either repeat history or rewrite it. When you decide to rewrite it, you give permission to the next generation to dream bigger and live better. That decision to change isn't just a moment, it's a process. It begins with a shift in mindset. You must start to believe that things can be different and that you have the power to make them so. It requires looking at the habits, beliefs, and limitations that have held your family back and choosing to break free from them. It's not easy. Habits are deeply ingrained, and change often feels uncomfortable. But every step you take toward growth makes the discomfort worth it. When you decide that change starts with you, you become a pioneer in your own family. You're stepping into uncharted territory, and that can feel lonely at times. There will be moments when others might not understand your decisions. They might even resist your efforts because change, even positive change, can be unsettling. But remember, you're not just doing this for yourself. You're doing it for the ones who will come after you, the children, nieces, nephews, and even those who aren't born yet. You're creating a ripple effect that will impact generations. Taking responsibility for change means being willing to do the hard work. It means being disciplined when it would be easier to give up. It means pursuing education when no one else in your family has. It means building a financial foundation when no one showed you how. It means speaking words of encouragement and hope, even if you were never taught to believe in yourself. Every time you make a choice to step forward, no matter how small, you are planting seeds for a better future. You might not see the full harvest in your lifetime, but the roots will grow and the branches will spread. Deciding that change starts with you is not just a decision, it's a commitment to be the turning point in your family's story. Resistance is inevitable when you decide to change the course of your life and your family's story. It comes in two forms: the battles within yourself and the challenges from the world around you. To succeed, you must face both head-on with courage and determination. Internal resistance is often the hardest to overcome because it's deeply rooted in your own mind. It comes in the form of self-doubt, fear, and the voice that whispers, "Who do you think you are to change anything?" These thoughts can be paralyzing. You might question whether you're strong enough, smart enough, or capable enough to make a difference. That inner voice feeds on the memories of past failures, magnifying every mistake and convincing you that history will repeat itself. To overcome internal resistance, you must challenge those thoughts directly. Start by replacing doubt with belief. When you hear the voice saying you can't, respond with "Yes, I can." Affirmations and a mindset of faith can be powerful tools. Remind yourself that growth is a process and setbacks are not failures but lessons. Surround yourself with positive influences, books, mentors, and people who inspire you to see beyond your limitations. Another part of internal resistance is the pull of comfort. Change is uncomfortable because it requires you to step into the unknown. Your mind and body may resist, urging you to stay where it's safe and familiar. But nothing extraordinary happens in comfort zones. You have to embrace discomfort as a sign that you're moving in the right direction. Each step forward, no matter how small, builds your strength and reinforces your ability to persevere. External resistance, on the other hand, comes from the world around you. It might come from family members, friends, or society at large. When you decide to rise above the status quo, not everyone will celebrate your journey. Some may doubt you, criticize you, or even try to pull you back into old patterns. They might say things like, "Why are you trying so hard? This is how things have always been." These words can be painful, especially when they come from people you love. Understand that external resistance often comes from a place of fear. When you grow, it challenges others to reflect on their own lives. Some may feel threatened or left behind, while others may genuinely believe they are protecting you from disappointment. It's important to stay focused on your vision. Communicate your goals clearly, but don't expect everyone to understand or support you. Use criticism as fuel to push forward. Let it remind you of why you started this journey in the first place. Surround yourself with a community of people who uplift you and share your vision. Seek out those who have walked a similar path and can offer guidance and encouragement. Overcoming resistance, both internal and external, is not a one-time event. It's a daily choice to keep moving forward despite the obstacles. Every time you confront a doubt, face a fear, or rise above negativity, you become stronger. Resistance, while difficult, is also proof that you're doing something meaningful. It's the friction that shapes you, builds your resilience, and prepares you to lead the change you seek. The next generation is always watching. Whether you realize it or not, your actions, choices, and attitudes are setting the tone for what they will believe is possible in their own lives. Children, siblings, nieces, nephews, and even neighbors, everyone is influenced by the example you set. This is why leading by example is one of the most powerful ways to inspire change and create a lasting impact on your family's story. Leading by example starts with accountability. You can't expect others to aim higher if you're unwilling to hold yourself to a higher standard. It's not about perfection, it's about consistency. When you say you're going to do something, follow through. When you set goals, work toward them diligently. The younger generation learns not just from what you say, but from what you do. If they see you pushing through challenges, they'll understand that perseverance is possible. If they see you taking risks and learning from failures, they'll know it's okay to fail as long as they keep trying. Your example sets the blueprint for how they approach life. If you prioritize education, they'll see the value of knowledge. If you practice financial discipline, they'll learn the importance of managing resources. If you treat others with kindness and respect, they'll internalize those values. These lessons are absorbed in the little moments when you're budgeting at the kitchen table, working late to achieve a dream, or simply speaking words of encouragement during tough times. Every action you take is a teaching moment, whether you realize it or not. Leading by example also means breaking unhealthy cycles. If your family has struggled with negativity, fear, or limited thinking, it's up to you to change the narrative. That starts by shifting your mindset and actions. Instead of complaining about problems, focus on finding solutions. Instead of dwelling on the past, show them how to look forward. It's not easy to unlearn generations of habits, but when you take that first step, you show the next generation that it's possible. You become the proof they need to believe that change can happen. Sometimes, leading by example requires sacrifices. You may need to forgo immediate comforts to build a better foundation for the future. You might need to work harder, take on challenges others won't, or invest time and energy into growth that won't pay off right away. These sacrifices might go unnoticed in the moment, but they leave a legacy that speaks louder than words. Remember, the next generation isn't just watching, they're imitating. If they see you living with integrity, pursuing excellence, and standing firm in your values, they'll carry those qualities with them. They'll see what's possible because you showed them. They'll believe in their potential because you believed in yours. Your example becomes a lighthouse for those who follow you, guiding them through their own storms and helping them navigate toward a brighter future. When you lead by example, you create ripples of change that extend far beyond yourself, impacting lives you may never even see. Building a lasting foundation is about creating something that endures beyond your lifetime. It's not just about success in the moment, but about establishing principles, systems, and values that can be passed down to future generations. This foundation becomes the bedrock on which your family can stand, grow, and thrive, even in the face of challenges. A lasting foundation starts with clarity of purpose. You need to define what truly matters. Is it financial stability? Is it education? Is it faith, integrity, or love? A strong foundation isn't built on material wealth alone, but on principles that guide how you approach life. Wealth can fade, but the lessons you leave behind about resilience, determination, and character are timeless. When you take the time to identify and live by these principles, you set the tone for what your family prioritizes for years to come. Financial stability is often a critical part of this foundation, and it requires intentional planning. It's not just about accumulating wealth, but learning how to manage it wisely. Creating a budget, building savings, and avoiding unnecessary debt are small but significant steps that can break cycles of financial struggle. Teaching these habits to your children ensures they have the tools to continue building upon what you've started. Wealth isn't just about what you leave behind, it's about the knowledge you pass on so future generations can steward it effectively. Education is another cornerstone of a lasting foundation. It doesn't always mean formal schooling, it means fostering a mindset of continuous learning. Encourage curiosity, critical thinking, and the pursuit of knowledge. Teach the next generation that education is the key to unlocking doors and creating opportunities. When you prioritize learning, you're not just equipping them with tools for individual success, you're giving them the ability to solve problems, adapt to change, and innovate for the future. A lasting foundation also requires strong relationships. At the core of every thriving family is a sense of connection, trust, and mutual respect. This doesn't happen by accident, it's built through communication, patience, and understanding. Take time to nurture these bonds even when life feels busy. Show love not just in words but in actions. When your family feels united, they're better equipped to weather storms and celebrate victories together. Legacy isn't just about what you achieve, it's about what you instill in others. A strong foundation involves modeling values like discipline, kindness, and generosity. When you live these values daily, they become embedded in the culture of your family. They become traditions, habits, and beliefs that are carried forward long after you're gone. Finally, a lasting foundation requires vision. You must think beyond the present and imagine the kind of life you want for future generations. It means planting seeds today, even if you won't see the full harvest. The choices you make, saving instead of spending, giving instead of hoarding, building instead of tearing down, create the framework for something bigger than yourself. It's a quiet but powerful legacy, one that speaks not just to what you accomplished, but to how you empowered those who come after you to accomplish even more. One person can make a difference. It may feel like a heavy truth, but it is also an empowering one. The power to change the trajectory of a family, a community, or even the world often begins with the decision of a single individual. That person doesn't have to be extraordinary, they simply need the courage to step forward and take action. Change doesn't require a perfect background, endless resources, or flawless skills. History is full of examples of people who started with little but transformed everything through determination, faith, and hard work. What matters most is the willingness to take responsibility for the change you want to see. The first step may feel small, choosing to save $1 instead of spending it, deciding to speak words of encouragement instead of criticism, or taking time to learn instead of giving in to distractions. But that step has the potential to create a ripple effect. When one person chooses to rise above their circumstances, they become a beacon of hope for others. You don't have to announce your intentions or seek validation. Your actions, no matter how quiet, speak louder than words. Imagine a family that has struggled with financial instability for generations. One person decides to learn about budgeting and financial planning. They teach themselves to save, to invest, and to create opportunities. At first, the changes might seem small, paying off a bill, avoiding unnecessary expenses, but over time, they add up. That single person's choices can lift the entire family out of poverty, creating a foundation for future generations to build upon. The power of one person is amplified by the example they set. When others see someone taking action, it inspires them to believe they can do the same. A parent who works tirelessly to provide a better life for their children shows those children what resilience and dedication look like. A young adult who breaks free from a cycle of negativity and pursues higher education shows their siblings what's possible. These moments of inspiration have the potential to ignite a chain reaction, spreading motivation and hope throughout an entire family or community. But change is rarely easy. The person who chooses to step forward often faces resistance, doubt, and criticism. People might question their motives, mock their efforts, or dismiss their dreams as impossible. The key is to remain steadfast, knowing that every great shift in history started with someone who dared to believe in something others couldn't yet see. That belief in the power of one's actions fuels the perseverance needed to overcome obstacles and keep moving forward. You may never fully understand the extent of your impact. Sometimes the seeds you plant won't bear fruit in your lifetime, but the changes you initiate will echo far beyond what you can imagine. One person's decision to rise, to believe, and to act can break cycles of struggle, inspire generations, and create a legacy of hope and possibility. All it takes is the willingness to be that person, to embrace the power you hold, and to take the first step toward transformation. In the end, it all begins with the decision to change, to break free from the chains of the past, and to lead the way for those who come after you. The power to change your family's story, to redefine the legacy you inherit, lies within your hands. It starts with recognizing the weight of your family's history, then deciding that change begins with you. You will face resistance both within yourself and from the world around you, but remember, every obstacle is an opportunity to grow stronger. Lead by example, building a foundation that will support not just your generation but those to come. Believe in the power of one person to make a difference, because when you choose to act with purpose, you change everything. Your choices today can shape tomorrow. not just for you, but for everyone who follows in your footsteps. You are the one who can change your family's story, and that change will ripple out, leaving a legacy of strength, hope, and transformation for generations to come.